5-time PGA Major winner Phil Mickelson, who got caught with insider trading in stocks, could spend the next 5 years in a prison cell.
The FBI and SEC are starting a major insider trading probe involving finance, gambling, and sports. Mickelson, not the subtlest guy, pockets $1 million trading the same shady stock and gambles $1 billion in his own games. It's like mixing high-speed chases, golf, and high-stakes bets. Could it be true that our beloved Lefty keeps losing millions down the drain? Let's dive inside the FBI's shocking golf gambling investigation, the Unveiling truth. In the summer of 2012, the sun was shining, birds were singing, and the golf world was at its peak. Little did they know, a financial storm was brewing behind the scenes. Phil found himself in quite the pickle when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a lawsuit against him. What's the fuss? Alleged insider trading involving shares of Dean Foods, the dairy maestro. Now, Phil was known for his sharp eye on good deals, and one day, he set his sights on a company called Dean Foods. Just before the company was about to share some big news, Phil bought a huge pile of their stocks, worth $2.4 million. Then, like magic, the very next day after Phil bought the stocks, their price shot up by 41%. It seemed as if Phil had some kind of mystical foresight, as if he had the ability to look into the future. People started to talk. This move made him a cool $1 million richer. The FBI and SEC got curious and had him on their radar. It looked a little too good to be true. It's not every day someone hits a jackpot like that. It was like Phil had some sort of superpower for timing. But Phil just shrugged and said he didn't do anything wrong. He just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Before we talk about how the FBI solved this, hit like and subscribe to the channel to stay informed. So, did Phil have a secret recipe for success, or was he just riding a wave of good luck? The SEC and FBI started an investigation into the trading deal and began digging around to see if Phil had some inside scoop that others didn't. Phil, on the other hand, acted all innocent. He said he was just playing the game and he hit a home run that day. As the buzz around Phil's big win grew, so did the curiosity. Was Phil a stock market genius, or was something fishy? To really get into the nitty-gritty of this tale, let's jump back to 2016. A bombshell drops. The FBI reveals that Phil was the victim of a media leak during their investigation. Among the FBI agents was one guy, Agent David Chavez, who couldn't keep a secret. He started spilling the beans to newspaper reporters from the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times about what the FBI was digging up. Fast forward a bit, and the big bosses at the Department of Justice found out what Chavez had done. The FBI wasn't happy, not one bit. The Bureau told everyone in court that Chavez was the one who had been whispering secrets to the reporters. But the cat was already out of the bag. The newspapers had told the world about the FBI's snooping and wrote several articles about it. All this chatter got more people in trouble, including a big cheese from Dean Foods named Thomas C. Davis. As Phil was leaving after his opening round at the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio, the FBI agents approached him. They wanted to discuss the investigation into Mickelson's shady trading patterns and the money he made from it. Phil told them to speak to his attorney. Later, it turned out that FBI agents told him that he wasn't the target of the investigation. And here comes the twist. The SEC claimed Phil got a tip-off from Billy Walters, a professional gambler who was allegedly in big trouble with a Dean Foods board member. Mickelson made almost over $1 million investing in Dean Foods, and the SEC found this very suspicious. In 2017, he had to go to court to testify that Walters did not disclose inside information. Phil refused, even though he had previously stated that Walters did not share insider information prior to the profitable trade. Mickelson invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and ultimately did not take the stand on behalf of his friend. It ended up with Billy behind bars. Billy said, "I thought Phil was my buddy, but he left me locked up and walked away. I was shocked when he didn't stand by me. I just wanted him to be honest. He promised to tell the truth to the FBI. I'm waiting in New York, and his lawyer says he won't talk. No way to make him speak after that. I asked, can't you at least say something to clear things up? Nothing. Was our friendship just a trick?" In the midst of both investigations, Walters claims that Mickelson hired well-connected DC attorney Gregory Craig, who struck a deal with the SEC that ultimately cleared Mickelson's name. Phil eventually settled. In exchange for paying the total of his trading profits, $1.3 million, back to the SEC, Mickelson was named a relief defendant and was absolved of any wrongdoing. But this wasn't all we knew about Phil. Billy Walters' book, Gambler: Secrets from a Life at Risk, takes us on a journey into Phil's secret life of high-stakes gambles and unexpected friendships. It's thrilling, revealing a side of Phil most don't know. Bets over $311 million and losses close to $100 million between 2010 and 2014. Phil's penchant for risk seems not confined to just the greens. Phil would make bets that had me raising my eyebrows. Wagers that would make anyone's heart race. Bets of $20,000 on long-shot NBA parlays or $100,000 to $200,000 on various games were just the tip of the iceberg. You see, between 2010 and 2014, it was nothing for Phil to wager amounts most of us can't even fathom. We're talking about bets of $110,000 to win $100,000 made a whopping 1,115 times. That's not to mention the 858 occasions he bet $220,000 to win $200,000. Yeah, you did the math right. It totals to over $311 million in wagers. In 2011 alone, the man made 3,154 bets, an average of nearly 9 per day. On one very adventurous day in 2011, he made 43 bets on Major League Baseball games. And guess what? Phil kissed goodbye to $143,500. In September 2012, the buzz at Medina Country Club was insane. It was the 39th Ryder Cup, USA versus Europe. Phil teamed up with Tiger Woods and Bubba Watson, called from Chicago. "We're snagging that cup back," he beamed. So confident he wanted a $400,000 bet on the US team. Indeed, he was so sure that he placed $400K on it. From what we gathered, Phil's gambling losses aren't at the previously speculated $40 million. Oh no, they're closer to a staggering $100 million. Yes, he gambled away a cool $100 million over 3 decades, betting a total of over $1 billion. People are pretty split about Phil. Some are yelling guilty, pointing fingers at his profits from Dean Foods and his buddy-buddy relationship with Billy Walters, Mr. Insider Trading himself. Every action he takes is under a microscope, every reason questioned. Others are Team Phil all the way, highlighting the lack of formal charges and his no guilt, no innocence settlement with the SEC. It's like a tricky golf course, full of hidden traps and surprises. Here we are, pondering over Phil's innocence or guilt. It's a personal quest into what we believe is right and just. But it's evident that this saga opened a can of worms about insider trading, media influence, and the unseen, shadowy side of golf and gambling. Are we just bystanders in this drama of secrets and stakes? Or are we pulled into the mystery, seeking answers and uncovering the hidden? Oh, Phil. Looks like our golf star is in a big mess again. While his gambling adventures are breathtaking, the real shocker is his refusal to speak a simple truth that could have saved his friend from a lot of trouble. According to his ex-friend, all Phil had to do was tell the world he knew he had no inside information about stocks. He chose silence, which cost him his freedom and much more. How might the rumors and lack of any real proof affect Phil Mickelson's reputation in the long run? Do you think he's guilty or not? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.